Look at this side, however. The ruler doesn't even sit up on the rivet there. And you can see how bent down this guy is. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me in the basement today. What we've got is kind of a back to basics for me. In the last video, I just fixed this MTH GP9 that had the Proto Sound 1 board fail, and I replaced that with a Daily Electronics E-unit board. If you like that kind of thing, certainly check out the video. But with this engine, this type of engine is kind of what got me really interested in working on Lionel trains. I have to thank Chuck's Lionel and Mark's Trains, which I'll include a link for his channel. He's done a couple excellent videos on the Alco FA, and what's really cool about these engines is they're made a lot of them for many years. This one's post-war, 1963, 1964, based on the Tandem website's information that I found. They made a ton of them, a lot of different colors, a lot of different paint paint schemes and whatnot, and they're kind of still making them. So there's a lot out there, which means that the value is great for these. They're good little runners. They can haul a good number of cars, most of them. But there's a huge amount of variety too, which is something that really interests me. This engine in particular is interesting because it's a base model engine, meaning there's no headlight, no horn, no magnet traction. This one does have a traction tire though, which I think is really nice. Much better than my other, is it 1020? I can't quite remember. I'll put a little text up here of what engine that was that had just nothing and could only haul like 3 medium weight cars or something like that. But getting back to this guy, just going to be a real simple story of getting it going again. So let's get started. So for this particular engine, we have to do an evaluation. First thing I noticed right off the bat is this particular wheel is popped out of its retainer there, so it's not even going to go down the track. Like I said, this is a very basic engine. There's no weight in it. There's no magnet traction on it. You can tell by the really skinny axles. The other ones have a much thicker axle when they have magnet traction. But this one does have a 2-position reverse unit, so that's much better than just a forward-only operation. But I have not run this yet, or I have not tried to run it. Oh, we also need a coupler, which if you saw an earlier video on some parts I got from trains.com, I got one of these dummy knuckle couplers for the back. So that'll be nice. And along with that, a spring to center it. But yeah, the shell needs cleaning, which is no big deal. I should probably repaint this stripe, but, you know, it gives it some character. I'll probably leave that. But let's see if it even does anything, because like I said, I do not know. The story of this engine is I bought it at an auction site that I had not used before. The engine came in good condition. It wasn't damaged in shipping or anything. It wasn't misrepresented. But while I got a good price for the locomotive, the shipping was more expensive than another location I use that's farther distance from me. And the website that I bought this from, the auction site, does not, they tell you shipping is expensive, so I learned. And unless they got something really cool, I'm not going to buy any more from them. Alright, let's see if she works. Okay, we got nothing. Let's turn the lever here. Whoa, got something. Oh, she's trying. All right. We got a runner. It's a really sad runner, but we got a runner. Man, great job, Lionel, because you know this thing either hasn't had a lot of use. I don't believe it has. It certainly hasn't had a lot of maintenance. Look at it, but it still runs. Somewhat. And that's amazing. All right. Let's pop this body shell off. It's super easy to pop these body shells off. This one is this one's a little bent here. But we just got one screw in the back. Let me grab a screwdriver. So, pop this guy off. Lift it up in the back. Slide it forward. Oh, look at the inside of that shell. Eesh. It's actually a little green. Well, it's definitely, we're going to scrub it up really good. Not sure if I can clean that grill here, but we'll give it a shot. What do we got going on here? Alright. Since we've got the 2-position reverse unit, it requires... Interesting. This motor is backwards from other ones I've seen. I've not seen this exact design with this type of deal. It's got it more of a hook here, and I'm used to seeing 2 slots. So they're always modifying stuff to make things a little more efficient and cheaper. But so you see the 2 colors here. That's for the instead of having a 3-position reverse unit that changes the brushes orientation electrically, they use 2 field windings, and so this just has forward reverse. It's just forward reverse, no neutral. But yeah, this is something that's kind of cool and different. Because if we take a look at my other stuff, here's some of my other Alcos that I got. Some of these are dummies, but yeah, there's all kinds of cool history about this stuff, which is one of the things I like. So where do I want to start? Don't even have colored wires, but the wire's in good condition. It's not falling apart. Let's pop off the brush plate. Let's see how that looks. Should probably add a little bit of work. I can see a little bit of a screwdriver mark there, but not much. So this is insulated, and that's very important. Very important that the stays insulated, otherwise it'll short out. So we've got 1 field winding going there. I'm gonna screw there. Special screw with that, or screw with that special washer. Alright, we'll carefully pull this up. Try to keep the try to keep the armature down in there. Alright, got it out. Didn't take too much, but I did use a flat file right there. For some reason, there's a big gash mark right there. I don't quite know why. But I'll file that smooth. And yeah, you can tell this has got a cheapening of the armature here. We got our full disc, but there's no support out to the edge. So that's a little strange, but yeah, cheapening up of stuff. Bound to happen. Brushes are good length, so I'm not too worried about that. Don't show a ton of wear, which is good. Not crazy. There's our traction tire there. It's probably as hard as a rock. I do not have any spares. That one's got a lot of play in it. Yeah, well, there's no bushings on these either, so this thing has had a hard drop or something. This side is normal. The ruler actually sits up on the rivet that's there, and this side is pretty straight. Look at this side, however. The ruler doesn't even sit up on the rivet there. You can see how bent down this guy is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to support it somehow and then hit it with a punch and try to get this straightened out. We'll see how it turns out. All back together. Whoops. I see I got the front truck on. Oh, that's okay. Whew. That was super easy to fix. All back together and looking much better. Frame cleaned up pretty good. I really had to put a real thick washer under here to stop the up and down movement of this excessive movement of the armature there, because I'm sure if it went all the way up it would contact the brush holders. So that was a little different. This is a cheaper brush holder that doesn't have the wick to oil it. I might change that out with another one, I'm not sure. But the wheels cleaned up nice, got a grease there, and the other thing I noticed, this being cheaper, it only has 1 axle drive, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, everything cleaned up pretty good, and we're ready for a test run. I wanted to show you the shell here. The shell cleaned up really nice. Used a toothbrush, actually used an ultrasonic toothbrush, to an old one, to get a lot of this out. If I wanted to work harder, I probably could have gotten that out there, but I'm pretty happy with it. And because this is an unpainted shell, and it was definitely looking a little chalky, not from my cleaner, but just from age, I used some Novus 2, just a little bit, just not very much rubbing on the hood here, or on the nose, and you can see how much nicer it is. You can see the light reflecting in it, and yeah, here's the rest of it. So I'm gonna shine up the whole thing. I haven't done it yet, but that's gonna be next. Because this isn't wax, I can apply paint over the area where I've used that product, so I don't have to worry about it bubbling. I think I'm gonna repaint this stripe on both sides. I think it'll just look a lot sharper. These stripes look great. I don't need to do anything there. I don't mind the scuff marks on here, but I'll hit it with the polish and it'll look much better. So. It's working. Let's see if we can pull a few cars. Let's get some of these heavier cars off of here. I would hope this could pull this light train. Probably not, though. It's a little heavier. Nope, too heavy. No extra weights in this one. Running out of room here. How about this much? Well, unfortunately, the test run went a little short. I heard a thwack, and then it stopped. And here this piece came off. I think it must be glued to the rest of it here. I unfortunately probably hastened it because I noticed the brush wasn't contacting all the way around, or there wasn't a wear pattern on the edge, and I lifted it up a little bit, and I think that was the end of it. Well, here's my repair. The super glue worked amazingly well. Definitely got a high spot though. Gonna have to see if I can sand that down a little bit, but the brushes run more toward the outside, so yeah, we're a little high right here. Okay. Let's see how she does. Wow, the reverse unit needs a little bit of work, but it's moving. It's not the strongest unit ever, but it wasn't before that break either. Without those extra gears, it's a lot quieter, but only one axle drive. Repairs complete. Let me know what you think. Personally, I think the shell turned out amazing. It looks great, much cleaner than it was. On the mechanical side, I was surprised, although I shouldn't be by now. These things seem to get dropped all the time. I'm surprised how bent up that chassis was, but I was able to straighten it out acceptably. And I'm surprised how quiet it is. This is another unit I've got, custom painted. I bought it that way, but this has a drive that's like all of my other units like this, where there's a shaft in the center here, and the motor drives that shaft, and then from there there's additional gears that drive the wheels, whereas this one just has the one gear on the wheel. I also think it's geared slower. For the same amount of voltage, this guy's going much slower, so